G'day, Paul from Small Crown Productions here, and welcome to this episode of Making Theatre. In this episode, we are making beer, not the drink. In this context, a bier is a platform that you would carry a dead body on. We had to make one recently for an outdoor production of Hamlet, and this is how it went. Possums that live in my roller door heading out for the night. So the idea with this is that we're trying to create a massive big banquet feast for the opening of the show, but when we cover this with a sheet, we want it to look like a dead body, so that the first thing that people see is the beer that we've been making carried through with what appears to be a dead body on top of it. Then it's laid down on this table, that moment ends, and the sheet's removed, and underneath it is this big wedding feast. And so we're trying to get something that, you know, we've sort of screwed this down through the weave so that it's going to stay in place. We're going to have these sort of, you know, grapes kind of spilling across and then all the way, kind of use them as a theme coming all the way up. We had this little silver tray that we thought would be kind of look good as the sort of profile of a head, but I think it's a bit small. I don't think it's going to work. So I came up with an even better idea. Took my old fighting helmet, which is a 15th century sallet, and just spray painted it gold. So I'm going to put this in as the head. It'll give it a very huge headline, but from a distance it'll probably read. It means that we can probably make the size of the banquet a little bit bigger. So I'll take these safety grills off, because when we fight, it protects your chin. So I'll take that off, and that'll sit nice and flat and give you a really good side profile that will look a bit like your head. When you reveal that, it's this beautiful gold helmet sitting in amongst all of this delicious looking food. So that'll be a nice little extra touch that no one is expecting. So yeah, it continues. Okay, so we're coming in today. Yo's here, she's just grabbing some lunch, but we're going to come out and start putting together the banquet today. So first thing I've got to do is grind the safety bars off my helmet, but we're looking for something that could really try and help elevate the look and feel of it, so that it looked really kind of plush and lush. And so the idea by creating a second board and using this as a waste board was so that I could pretty much drill holes through it, use it to run straps through, cable ties through, whatever, screw into it to hold things down without damaging the actual beer, which I know that people are going to want to use again. I know that's something that they'll want to hold on to. I know it's something that they will want to put a person on at some point, because I know the minute that you look at it, you go, will that hold a body? Because that's what I thought when I first put it together. I'm like, I'm going to make this strong enough to hold a body. Even though that wasn't the brief, it's well built enough that it will be something that lasts a few years and can be kept, and so it'll definitely get used in that way. So putting that safety around it right from the start was just a smart play. So the idea then was to create a separate board for this banquet that we can attach everything to, so that then gets screwed onto the top of that beer without it being kind of damaged, and we can then just pull it off. So this board though is just a bit boring and plain, and if we're just going to fill the center, I didn't want it to be a white board. I was thinking it'd be really great if it could look like a really thick butcher's block, but we don't have the time to make that happen. And so we're thinking through all of the props and the pieces of stuff that we had from shows gone by that we've seen in 4MBS. And so what we did was we grabbed these expandable trellis. We used these in the show that we were in last year. So myself, I was in the production last year as an actor. Yo stage managed. These were used to help create a garden wall. So what I'm actually looking to do with these is I've got two of them. So we'll pull these flowers out of them and use them around the edges, but we'll actually use this as a base on the actual board, so it'll give it a really interesting look and feel. It'll add to the lusciousness of it, and will just really help kind of lift the grandeur of it. Now, we may use one, we may use two, I'm not exactly sure. Depends on how it all fits together. But at least to have that, we might throw some fabric around one end or something to give it a bit of a different look. But yeah, so we're going to start on that pretty soon, and yeah, we'll see how it goes. I was a little bit worried about how I was going to attach this. I was trying to come up with all kind of rigging options, but because I've just drilled those rivets out and taken the grill off, I've now got the holes there, so I can actually just run a cable tie through them straight onto this trellis, and it isn't going to move. One head. So that's our beer finally made. That's the finished product. So they were put the fake dead body on that and carried it in at the start of the show, and then the sheet was revealed. The sheet was removed and revealed the fake dead body underneath, which was actually a wedding feast. But they used it later in the show to carry Ophelia, which I knew they would, because it's what I would want to do. So it was made strong enough to be able to do that. The handholds in it were a really great extra bit of safety and security for her. In the end, looked really good, really happy with it. So see you next time.